Excusez-moi. I find you to be quite riveting. For you, mon cœur.
Have you ever stolen anyone's children? Huh? Have you? I mean, you look like you would. It's good. He's gonna make it.
This is incredible. We're witnessing history right now.
Nope. Hey, he's coming back. He's coming. Doc, get down.
Red rum.
Never mind.
Maybe it's a little bit more subtle, like a little bit just more majestic, like. Okay, big stroller kids, that sucks. Made all you guys look like idiots. You know what we gotta do? We start replacing those kids. Ladies, get busy! We're gonna be laying some eggs tonight!
Reading about ovulation on paper doesn't do it justice. I become insatiable. It's not fun, is the thing. Like, it's not enjoyable. Like, one time I whacked it for 6 hours. When is that ever fun for anyone? It hurt. It sucked, but I needed it like air. It was awful. It's like the Snickers slogan, you know? Like, you're not you when you're hungry. I'm not me when I'm ovulating. I'm possessed by something dark. Some dark need. If y'all ever saw Dexter, it's like his dark passenger. Like, it's like something that is outside of my control. Some eldritch horror has taken my body. And I don't want to be there when it happens. I know the meme of like gnawing at the bars of your enclosure is definitely dead, but it feels like that. I could eat through drywall to get what I wanted when I'm ovulating. What is that?
Hello, Cookie. Seems you left me on red. That's not gonna slide. I'm gonna need you to respond to me right now, or I'm about to make that cookie dough soft, if you know what I'm saying.
Thank you both so much, and congratulations.
Thank you. I think at the end, that's why I was.
I'll vote for you. Oh my gosh, sorry, Nicholas. I'm calling you Lyle.
If the show had to recast at some point, would that be okay with you?
Of course, I understand that the show has needs, and I would be fully supportive of that.
Either trim rig or bridesmaids.
How good is that? Oh, how good is that dick?
in the Global Peace Index since 2008. They are known for their political stability, freedom of the press, and respect for human rights. Number 7 is the stunning Portugal. Not only is it one of the safest places to live, but it also is one of the most affordable for the quality of life that you are given here. Number 6 is Switzerland. This country basically has no international conflicts. It has an exceptionally high degree of safety in society here. Number 5 is Singapore. Number 4 is New Zealand. Number 3 is Austria. Number 2 is Ireland. Not only are they known for their Guinness and putting back some beers, but it is one of the wealthiest, most developed, and happiest nations in the world. And finally, the number 1 safest country to live in for 2025 is Iceland. This is the 17th year in a row that Iceland takes the top spot. You guys will have to let me know in the comments what you think of these rankings, of what countries deserve to be on the list, and what countries should probably be taken off, based on your opinion. But this is from the Global Peace Index.
I've got to get out of here. Agatha, what are you doing? Stop! Stop! It's gonna break. Stop doing that!
I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady. Everybody knows I like kids better than people, man.
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
Keep yapping, man.
Best rapper alive.
Tupac. Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Basically, I'm here to announce that we're building Iron Man.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. What are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
And he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
I love the Mexican people. El hombre del pelequin.
Well, nice to see. How old are you, 17?
6.
Welcome back to Bake Baking, the show where I try to bake something while bake. Today's recipe, Teeny's mac and cheese. That's right, folks. We're going save. First, boil some of this pasta right up. I got the cavatappi. Ow! Hot. Oh my god, I need my cheese. Look at the sheer amount of that cheese situation. What we got? Mozzarella, Monterey Jack. You know the recipe said Colby Jack, but I think they're the same thing because they're both named Jack. And cheddar, a Vermont sharp cheddar. We gotta grate that, all of it. I got this automatic shredder that I bought just for this occasion. Get a load of this. Oh, it fits. Brilliant. Are you ready? This is the first time I'm using this ever. Oh my god. God's greatest invention. Oh, my pasta's done. Safety. They're done. Oh my god. Beautiful. Oh my god. Do you feel that? That feels so good. Okay, boom. Look at how easy that was, basically. Kind of mix them together, like such as. And I'll just split these in half. We bring in this guy. Pan, otherwise known as. Oh, we gotta have our seasoning. I have a little bowl. Garlic powder. Smoked paprika. Do you remember the salt and pepper on Blue's Clues fucked and they gave birth to paprika? And we just accepted that? And they're like, oh, TV is making kids trans. They're making them paprika. Salt, pepper, that's it. Now we get to melt butter. Give her a little melt. Now we're gonna add flour, half of our seasoning. This is a roux. RuPaul Charles. I was just thinking, wow, that smells just like the smell of burnt mac and cheese. And then I was like, oh right, should not smell burnt. Fuck, I don't know if I've been stirring for 2 minutes or like 50 minutes. We add in evaporated milk. Oh, forgot it was hot for a second. And this is a bechamel. Bechamel. bechamel mucho. And then we add 2 cups of heavy cream and the rest of our seasonings and whisk that in. It's cheese-in time. Like a handful of cheese at a time. Oh fuck, I was supposed to add mustard. It's a tablespoon of Dijon. Start melting up that cheese. Yeah, look at that cheesiness. Pasta time. Oh god, this pan is not big enough. You're playing a dangerous game, my friend. But it does have that classic trademark macaroni and cheese squelch. Oh my god. I want to eat it. Psych, you still gotta bake it. Dumbass. Bring in my pan. Start scooping half of that in. Bring in our other cheese that we had saved up. Do a little half over this. Rest of this. Rest of the cheese. Get on there. Now, oven. Holy shit. It's a thing of beauty. Listen to this. I think it's still dangerously hot, but I can't wait. Oh shit. Look at that absolutely gorgeous mac. Time to taste. Oh fuck. It's cheesy, it's noodly, got a little spicy. Just like what mac and cheese. It's what it's always wanted to be all its life. It finally gets to be. I did it.
One of the very hardest aspects of autism, in my experience, is that when you want to explain what went wrong in any sort of given situation, that it comes across as making excuses to neurotypical people. And this is confusing and causes us to fight about the fight rather than to clear things up a lot of the time, which is absolutely mind-boggling sometimes. I'm Sol Smith, and I'm an autistic and ADHD life coach, and I help autistic and ADHD people understand themselves and their challenges a lot better. So, there's 3 things about this you really need to understand. Number 1, a lot of this has to do with context sensitivity. Autistic people tend to be very sensitive to context. This is because we see patterns very well, and we want to find out what is connecting these patterns and causing them to be a thing. If there's a conflict, we want the background information. We want to know the intention behind it. We see this as not one incident, but a possible reoccurring problem that could come up a lot if it hasn't already. And we feel like the background information is absolutely necessary to fully understand what went wrong. And that's our number 1 focus in an argument, not what is being argued, not what position is trying to be won, but where the miscommunication is. Number 2, the need to know where the miscommunication is deeply embedded in the autistic experience of being misunderstood. We are so used to having our intentions misinterpreted, to having what we say misinterpreted, that we've come to understand that safety for us lies in understanding the other person and having them reflect their understanding of us back to us accurately. This makes us feel safe. This makes us feel calm. This makes us feel understood. It doesn't alienate us when this happens. So we feel like the only way to truly resolve an argument is to expose the inner workings behind it, expose where our mind went, why we got defensive, why we reacted the way that we did, and how we now understand that you didn't mean this, and I want you to understand that I didn't mean that. Because we had our wires crossed, not because we hate each other. If we hated each other, we wouldn't be talking. And number 3, Allistics seem to not expect this. They seem to want a straightforward apology for their perceived insult. There is something in them that has sparked a vulnerability and become defensive. The same thing happened to us. And while they see this explaining of the pointedness of your comment as very necessary, they see any sort of explanation from the other side as deflecting responsibility. This isn't what an autistic person is trying to do, and their apology often comes across as a minor stop on the way to making an excuse, like, I'm sorry, but, to an allistic person. in actuality, the most sincere form of apology you can get from an autistic person is the deep explanation of where things went wrong. Again, this pattern connection is absolutely necessary for us, but it's not necessary for an autistic person, and it's really hard to just apologize and try to move on with this misunderstanding still hanging in the air. This phenomenon has caused a lot of us in the support groups to have really tumultuous relationships, or had really great relationships end in a terrible splash of conflict that really shouldn't have happened. So it's really important that holistics begin to come around and understand the different needs of an autistic person in a conflict. And doing this when you're emotionally overloaded is very difficult.
When intelligence agencies need to quell civil unrest, they use a formula of confuse and control. I'm going to explain to you exactly how that is playing out in connection to the shooting so that you are less likely to fall for their manipulation. It is substantially less likely for people to rally behind an action if they doubt that it is fully in alignment with their beliefs. Planting just enough doubt in the minds of the population at the very least delays further action. Not only that, but in order for these agencies to identify and target key players and then infiltrate and cut off the head of the movement, so to speak, that would take a massive amount of time and resources that they do not have, especially when the public reaction was so big and so quick. That leaves confusing the masses as the only play they have for the time being. So let's quickly review all of the misleading and contradictory information we've been given. We have the mismatched pictures. He's a professional. He's a normal guy. He used a veterinarian gun. He used a 3D printed gun. He was hired. He was acting on his own. He was tipped off an employee or tipped off by a customer. In general, sowing doubt that the working class turned on itself and that there wasn't as much unity as you might have thought. Trying to make the issue partisan, and general doubts about whether or not the man in custody is the shooter. Consider the public officially confused. So now they work to take back control of the narrative. You've probably noticed you're seeing less regular people talking about this and far more of the mainstream media. Notice how I didn't tag this video in connection. That is why you're seeing it. Whether or not the guy in custody is the real shooter, they need the story to be real enough that you empathize with it, but not so much that it motivates further action. Anything that crosses that line will be suppressed. They also need him to be ambiguous enough that they can sway the story just enough so that you personally start to feel like he's not part of your group. And they're hoping that our algorithms are tailored enough that we never see it happening. If you've been paying attention, you have watched all of this play out in real time. If you don't want to be manipulated by these actions, the secret is very simple. It is separating what you know for certain versus what you were told. For this case, it's really easy. We only know two things for certain. The CEO of United Healthcare was shot and killed. The working class had an immediate reaction to rally behind someone they perceived to be fighting back against the system that has victimized us all. That's it. That is all we know for certain right now, and likely all we will ever know for certain. What we choose to do with that information is for each of us to personally decide for ourselves.
This story was told to me by a Lakota elder some time ago, and it just came up for me, so I wanted to share. So once when the world was young, there was a medicine man. He had studied his whole life to help people, and he had a good heart. All he really did was serve. One day he got a call. A messenger came to the village saying that there was a village across the river and they were sick. They were very, very sick. So he packed everything he could as quickly as he could and set off to go see if he could save this village. In order to get there, he had to take a long, winding path that was up against a sheer cliff. On the other side was a river. In order to get to the crossing, and he was hurrying as fast as he could. He only slept during the darkest hours to make sure that he didn't wander off and go over the edge as he made his way. Around day 2, he came to a place on this crossing, on this path, and there was a man standing there holding a rope. The other end was tied around his belly. And the man says to him as he approaches, "Will you hold this rope? Please, I need your help." And the medicine man, wanting to help, grabbed the end of the rope, asking, "Why do you want me to hold the..." And before he could finish the sentence, the man just drops off the side of the cliff, and he grabs the rope and he's leaning back against it, holding it. "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you do that? Climb back up. Come on, climb back up." The man hanging at the other end of the rope says, "Just hold on, just hold on." The medicine man, not knowing what he was doing, not knowing what was happening, held on, but the rope started to slip. The man dangling at the other end felt that slip. "Please hold on to the rope. Don't drop me. I'll drop it to the river. I'll drown. Don't let me die. Tie it around your waist." The medicine man calls down to him, "Climb up. I can't hold you. The rope is slipping. Tie it around your waist. Tie it around your waist." So the medicine man does. He ties it around his waist. And he's standing there, leaning all his weight back up against this rope, calling down to the man that is dangling above the river, off the side of a cliff. "I need you to climb back up. I have someplace to be. There are people that are waiting for me." The man just screams back up, "Don't drop the rope. Don't let me die. I don't want to drown. Don't let me die." The medicine man tries with all his might, pulling the rope, trying to drag, bodily drag this man back up to the safety of the path, calling down to him, "I need you to help me. Climb up the side of the cliff. I'm trying to get you back up to safety." But the man just dangles there, continuing to call up, "Don't let go of the rope. If you let go of the rope, I will fall into the river. I could die. I could drown. Don't kill me." Hours go by. The medicine man's body is trembling with fatigue, holding this weight, calling back and forth with this man, having no idea what's going on, watching as the sun sets, knowing that he needs to get to this village. He has things to do. Finally, he calls down to the man, "I have to go. You're not telling me what you're doing. You're not helping yourself climb back up to safety. You're not helping me drag you back up to safety. I have to go." "No! Don't let me drown. I could die. Don't kill me. You'll kill me if you let the rope drop." The medicine man stands there on the side of the cliff, his heart breaking in his chest. All he wants to do is help. All he wants to do is serve. But this man just won't help himself. He won't help him help him. Knowing that it was the man's choice to jump off the side of the cliff to begin with. Praying to his ancestors, praying to his creator for guidance. What do I do as he watches the sunset, knowing that people are sick and suffering? Many people, that if he could just get there, he could help. Maybe he could save them. Finally, the heavy heart. He unties the rope from his waist and calls down to the man. "This is your last chance. I need you to climb up. Help me get you up here." At first there's only silence, and he wonders what happens. The man calls up. If you drop that rope, and I die, my death is on your hands. The medicine man breathed. One life for 100? No, I can't. And he let the rope drop, heard the cry, and a great splash as the man hit the water. He collected his belongings with tears in his eyes, saying prayers for the man, that he swims, that he remembers he can swim and he can make it. And he continues. With each step he takes towards the village, though, his heart feels lighter because he knew that this was not his fault. The man made the choice. The man refused to help him. The man refused to help himself. And that burden was not on his shoulders. When the medicine man made it to the village, he made it barely in the nick of time. If he had spent 2 more hours holding the man on the rope, he could have lost the entirety of the village, men, women, and children, all. And so it goes from a lightened burden to joy in his heart, knowing that he had made the right choice, believing in his heart that the man chose to swim instead of sink. I believe this story carries so much weight for us today because many people make choices. Their choices that cause them hardship, that can make them sick, that can cause them pain. And we try to save them. We can put a lot of effort and energy into trying to save our friends. But if they're not willing to help themselves, if they're not willing to hear or take what you're offering, or if they can't receive it, then your voice, your energy could be used to help people that do want it, that are listening, that find your energy, your love, and your wisdom useful. It is not your burden to bear, to carry someone else. In fact, many times, if you are preventing someone else from suffering, if you are saving them, if you are digging them out of trouble, pain can be the greatest motivational teacher. Suffering sometimes is what makes us into the great beings that we could be. So do not deny someone their path, and do not deny yourself your own. And if you can't help someone, just know that you did everything that you could, and that is all you could ever do. Much love, relatives. Have a beautiful day.